set out to learn a little bit more about the terrain response system on the Disco today, so I chose a fairly steep hill nearby, kept all the tire pressures at road pressure to make it especially difficult. First and foremost, I left terrain response system in general to see how it would go. I turned dynamic stability control off. I always turn this off as it always cuts power when any one of the wheel loses traction, leaving it almost stalling on rutted hill climbs. I learned this already on some of the other trips. It seems especially so in the older versions of DSC. The Evoke, for example, doesn't do this. As it turns out, in general program, the engine revs are kept too low, which is not ideal for torque. Also, there is definitely a lot more slip. Together with the low torque, makes it difficult to keep any sort of momentum going for hill climbs. For this particular climb, the Mud and Ruts program works much better. It keeps the lower gear and engine in peak torque, and is much more aggressive in controlling wheel speed, making the climb a lot easier. It definitely feels a lot safer. I wanted to use second low on the descent to see if the gearbox will allow engine braking. For this, I used the pedal shifters. I tried turning off hill descent control, but the computer sometimes disengages the gears, leaving only the brakes. It's a little bit unsettling and not exactly confidence-inspiring. Yes, it does still brake for some reason. It seems to brake when the car goes past a certain gradient, so there must be an additional layer of protection somewhere. I don't know how to get it to stop braking and leave the gears engaged so that I can descend using engine compression. If you do work out how I can leave it in second low without it disengaging the engine, please leave me a comment below. Thank you. This is probably the steep section right here. In rock crawl mode, I found the throttle position sensor was very much desensitized, and it holds low gear. I assume it's first low all the way. Makes for a very, very slow ascent. Makes sense as it is good for crawling and gives you a lot more throttle modulation, but not great when it comes to ascending these sorts of hills, where sometimes you want just a bit of momentum to get over little bumps and small steps. I don't think the slip control is any better than, say, in Muds and Ruds program, but for really slow, rocky surfaces, this is probably the most suitable program to be in. Again on the descent. This time I left hill descent control to do all the work for me. It's a bit unpredictable. Sometimes you throttle and then lift off, and the brakes come on hard, making it quite uncomfortable and jerky. Suppose it takes a bit of getting used to. It just feels a little bit unsafe as you're relying on electronics to keep you from plowing down the hill.
Rock crawl mode.
I'm definitely not an expert by any means. These are just my findings. Leave me a feedback below if you found this helpful. And thanks for watching.